To preface, I'm 30. I'm married. I own a business, and my husband also owns a business with me. And I am struggling to make friends with women who are in a similar situation as me.
All right, tell me something more interesting about you than you own a business.
I really am into fitness and have been since I was 16. I got into lifting, and I love it. It's a huge part of my life.
Tell me about it.
I guess one of the businesses we own is fitness related, and I built up a lot of confidence from lifting at an early age. So it's kind of like been, I guess, a huge part of my identity.
You tell me about your husband.
He is also really into fitness, which is awesome. You know, that was kind of one of the things actually that we connected on when we first met. And he's very ambitious, hard worker. He motivates me every day and takes really good care of me. I'm just really, really blessed to have him as a husband.
How much protein have you both had combined so far this morning?
All of it.
That's such a great answer. We don't measure in grams. We measure in all of it. That's excellent.
Yes.
Awesome.
More.
So, dude, tell me about the nightmare of being 30 and trying to find friends.
Oh, my gosh. It's impossible. I don't drink, so it's not like I'm going to meet, Stacy at a bar and be best friends with her.
Her mom has got it going on. All right, so what else?
She does. I don't know. I guess I'm looking. I have girlfriends. I mean, they're great, but there's not that like deep introspective conversation that I'm just dying for, And
why do you think something's wrong with you that you're not dying for that?
I guess, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, either you're recognizing, like, I'm not whole. There's some things there's places I want to go where I don't have to count macros and I just want to drop my shoulders, and I don't want my goofball husband around who I love to the moon and back. I just want some girlfriends that I can just shoot the crap with. That you recognize that. Or you're reading a lot of self-help books and you're like, have turned your life into a GCI, like glucose intake and proteins and macros and like sleep tracker. Like you've just optimized your life and you are looking at a check mark being like, oh, I need friends that I crave this with. I need that. Which one of it?
Wow.
It's one of them's a story and one of them is a hole in your heart.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Which one?
I mean, probably both. I guess I've always been very goal oriented, so it's really it's funny. I never thought I was looking at getting a friend as like a checklist, but I do feel like, oh, this girl, I like her, but she only has this, this, and this. She does not have like, this. And maybe I can't really be friends with her because of that, I guess, if that makes sense.
Totally. And I would just tell you, my two closest friends, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my 6 closest friends on the planet do not exercise with any regularity at all. None. And they laugh at me because they're all fairly certain I'll be the first one to have a heart attack because I work out so much. And they're some of my closest best friends on the planet. And over time, what I've come to learn, when you're kids and they self-select you, even all the way through college, like they put you in groups by shared interests. I think as adults, you move into different levels of friendship through shared values. And I have grown to love the fact that I consider Ben here a great friend. We've done bands together. We've gone to see punk rock show together. And he is the president of the Dungeons and Dragons Club or whatever. I don't know what they do. They talk about elves and ghosts and stuff. I've played Dungeons and Dragons approximately 0 times in my life. Ever. Not one time. And I love that about him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's become this thing, like, can I ask you a mean question? But I don't mean it to be mean. Just to mean it to be reflective. Many of my friends in the fitness, not the fitness industry, the like the true, honest, great people, like the Mind Pump guys and Jordan Side, not those guys, but what I would call the beefcakes right beneath them, the crush it and kill it guys. There tends to be a sense of, look at all the work I've done, I'm kind of better than y'all. And it makes it hard to make friends because you're always sizing people up. Or the books say you should be friends with people who are aspirational. So you're always looking at interactions as like a friends are some sort of 401k. That if I'm friends with these 5 people, then I'll be better at fill in the blank. And I think that's a catastrophic way that we have optimized human interaction in a really disgusting way.
Yeah, wow.
Friends should be a group of people that, yes, hold you accountable, and yes, iron sharpens iron, and it's a place where you can drop your shoulders and just tell that joke that's super inappropriate, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess, and I do that. I do have fun with, those friends, and I do have those friends. I guess I just also would like to be friends with somebody who does have, big goals and aspirations, but also that can be a goofball with.
And do you not think your friends have goals and aspirations that are deep and profound, or are they just different than yours?
Yeah, you're right.
One of my closest friends is literally counting down the days to retirement. And we mock each other mercilessly. I have no retirement. I have no interest in retiring. I would like to just be at work one day and then just be dead. I like work. I like showing up and doing stuff. And we're just different that way. But the fact that he has a plan and the fact that he deeply believes in it and he's working towards it, that's where we align. And the destination just makes for great fodder for us giving each other a hard time. So do you have a friend who might be as dedicated to, as you are to working out and starting businesses, as dedicated to being the best freaking mom that's ever existed?
Yeah.
Or to helping change a local school, or running a restaurant that's just top notch. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. I feel super humbled. I never thought that I was thinking about being better than people, but now that you say that, I feel so horrible about it.
Why?
Well, you never want to be thought of as like, oh, I'm actually kind of arrogant looking at this, but that's kind of what it is. It's like I knew I could always learn something from them and like different outside of what I value and my goals. But like you said, they're more than just a checklist.
I wish more than anything in the world I would not be as anxious about money as my friend Todd and John are. And the fact that I save the way I do and I scratch and claw the way I do doesn't make me better, even though I might have a spreadsheet that says this metric is above theirs. You know what they have that I don't? An ability to laugh so loud the room shakes. An ability to be like, I'll have 2 more pieces of cheesecake and I'm going to feel terrible tomorrow. And I think, you know what I mean? I can't do that. And I long for that level of, And also, I know that at least one of them, probably both of them, would love to just be able to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go work out and then sit in a cold plunge until their brains froze. Like, they would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about, like, man, let me put it this way. There will come a humbling moment, a reckoning. It's much better for everybody if you land that plane before it crashes. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll blow out an ACL and not be able to exercise for a while. And when that identity goes, or one of your businesses will fail, or one of your husband won't be as great as you think, like something will happen, things will happen. And when you learn at a young age to hold things really loosely and yet work really hard, my gosh, that's the recipe for peace. And so let me ask you probably the hardest question I've asked you. Deep beneath all of the workouts, beneath the amazing husband, beneath all, are you cool with you?
I mean,
let me say it this way. That sounds kind of woo-woo. Are you afraid that people are going to judge you as harshly as you judge them?
Maybe. I don't know. I've done a lot of work, but I do find it hard to, I guess, be truly authentic with people.
How come?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have to have a mask for some reason.
Yeah. Or maybe 3 or 4 inches of muscle you can hide behind.
6 or 7.
The fact that you could rip that joke off just like that tells me you'd be a lot of fun to hang around if you would let yourself actually be hung around with.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wonder what it would be like, what kind of freedom you could experience if you could just be fully you. And it will cost you some hanger-ons, and it will cost you some peripheral friends. But you'll have some deep, deep relationships that will form over time. And sometimes a simple question is, hey, will you teach me something? Or I've got to know, how can you ingest that much beer? I don't see how that's physiologically possible. I remember one time I brought this is the kind of dork I am. I brought a foam roller to watch the fights with some guys. And these are guys that had never go to a gym. And they were like, I was trying to show them how it worked. And they were like, this is so dumb. And then one by one, they'd find a hot spot and be like, ah. And it was weird laughing. And also I had all these like, this is why. And they're like, dude, it's not doing anything. I think you're kind of making this up, right? So it just became fun. It's a place where I can just drop my shoulders. And yes, if there's a problem in my marriage, those are the guys I call. If there's a problem with the finances, those are the guys I call. If there's a problem with my spiritual life, those are the guys I call. And I think that started when I was able to fully be okay with, they love me just for showing up.
So I guess where would you start if you're, I guess, working on quote unquote unmasking?
I would take 3 or 4 of my closest friends, the ones that you consider closest, and put something regular on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And even go as far to say as I need a couple of 3 or 4 ride or die women in my life. And I have some hilarious jokes that my husband don't think are funny. Or I want to learn about like, okay, tell me about like your job. Like, what do you do every day? And
not
you, but like them. Be genuinely interested in their lives, not in are they meeting the checklist that you've given yourself that you feel like gives you permission to even exist.
Mm.
And for you, that's body fat percentage, insulin, and whatever other things you're measuring. Your ApoB and your those are things are all important and good, and I like dealing with that stuff. But I kind of like that some of my friends don't. So I guess I'll say this. You're worth being a friend with, Catherine. All of you. Even the parts that you've hidden. And the only way I know to make friends in your 30s and 40s and 50s, I've said that before, is just to go first and be weird. Put your intentions on the table. I need 4 or 5 ride or die women in my life. I need 4 or 5 ride or die men in my life. They're going to be my friends. I'm going to call you all in the middle of the night with weird conspiracy theories, and I need you just to laugh at me. And I'm going to call you when I am struggling with infertility and you're on baby number 3. I'm going to call you and just be sad. Will you be sad with me? And I'll cheer and be so happy too. Can we do all that together? Can we put some of these things out on the table? And then I'm sure they're dying to ask you questions about how you ingest so much protein on a daily basis and why you're snorting creatine off the counter or whatever else is going on, right? And starting business, I'm sure they have interest too. It's just allowing yourself to be fully known. But the only way to do that is to go first. and there will be cost associated with it. You'll lose some people in your life, and that's okay. And by the way, thanks for being brave. This is a question that is plaguing, especially the Western world right now. Thank you for being a guinea pig and sitting with me, or allowing me to sit with you. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from the conversation. So thank you so much for being brave. Go get them. Put the dumbbells down. I'm just kidding. Keep lifting. But also start laughing some too.